Hey everyone, thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of Women of DevOps. Today we're joined by Abigail-1 all the way from Ghana. So hi Abigail, to start, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, I'm Abigail Echampong-Boache, as you just mentioned, and I'm a system administrator, a cloud Unix system administrator with eProcess International SE, which is under EcoBank currently.
How long have you been in tech? What's been your career progression like?
Okay, so I've been in tech for 2 years and over. So with the tech that I've been in, I was a national service personnel for 9 months. And then after serving for 9 months, I was moved from a service personnel to a contract staff for 6 months. Then upon working hard, I was fortunately made a permanent staff, which has been over a year and some months now. So I'm currently in a permanent role with the company as a cloud Unix system administrator.
That's great. And what drew you to tech initially?
Okay, I had interest in tech, but not interest in the sense that I wanted to do tech. I think I wanted to become an optometrist rather, but when I was moving to the university after I got my grade in WASI and then I got my results, I was given the option by my mom to choose 3 out of 3 courses as to choose one. That was one was mathematics, computer science, and actuarial science. But at that time, I had a very close friend of mine who was already in the university in his final year. He was offering actuarial science. Then I'm not that type of person that really wanted to offer a mathematics program in the first place. And at times it is good when you come across people that know you well too. So I told my friend I would offer actuarial science because I was trying to escape mathematics, not knowing actuarial science was a whole lot of mathematics. Then he told me that he would advise me not to go for actuarial science. I should go for computer science because mathematics would be the same thing like going for actuarial science. My dear, I thought I was escaping. But to my surprise, I met almighty mathematics again in computer science. So that was how come I came into tech, this whole technology thing. So I started with computer science, and then I came into this whole role of now being a cloud Unix system administrator. But my role that I'm currently in, when I was in school, there was a specific lecturer who was assigned to that to teach us, to lecture us, sorry. I noticed that anytime the lecturer taught me, I didn't understand anything. So mostly what I did was that anytime I was going for operating systems, because you know Unix is under operating systems, anytime I was going for that lecture, I was just there to go and join the crowd. So I wouldn't take notes because I knew I wouldn't get what he was trying to say. So I wouldn't waste my time to take notes, but what I would do is to sit down and watch him. So prior to the exams, I was wondering how I was going to pass these exams, knowing very well I don't understand what is going on in the class. But I had a friend that I had known since first year when I joined the class, that was computer science first year. He knew this specific course very, very, very well. So luckily for me, we are close. What I don't really know, but it seems the programs that I have faults with, he is able to find his way through. And with the ones I have problems with, so it's much more of like you help me, and then I have to also help you. So with the operating systems, which Unix is currently under, So what I did was that I told him he should teach me. So he came over to my place, and then, he took me through, I'm telling you, Roxy, one of the programs I have written till now that I can testify that I was surprised that I passed so well was operating systems.
Nice.
I felt I wasn't going to make it. So when I wrote my midterm and I passed, it's out of 30. So I got 20 and over. I can't remember. But when I wrote my end of the exams, that is the semester final exams, it's out of 70. So after the addition, I got 80 something percent.
That's great.
And at that time, the operating system we were using was Ubuntu. And Ubuntu is a little bit different from RHEL. So I joined the company, and as a national service personnel, at times, destiny knows where you are gonna definitely end up one day. That is one thing. So I joined the company newly. We were, taking through a lot of things. Then the HR came that they are going to assign us to teams to join. A paper we placed in front of you with your team and your name is already on it. You are not going to select what you want. That is when life really begins. I opened the sheets and then I saw Unix. I almost cried because it's not that I was crying out of joy. I didn't know that Unix is kind of like I'm going to operating system. I thought it was something that I didn't know. So I kind of picked my phone and Googled, and I realized that it was the same thing that gave me a headache, and I had a very good score in school. But now the challenge was I have to move from a different operating system where I used to think Ubuntu now to RHEL. And RHEL is enterprise. So that comes to something different. So that was when I realized that at times God prepares you for something greater that you are not even aware of. The things you feel that you cannot do, those are the things that might take you to greater heights. So that's how come I came into this role.
Very cool. So about your current role, okay, so Unix, cloud storage, what's your actual day-to-day like?
So in my day-to-day, like provisioning of servers, installations, configurations, upgrades, and patching using Red Hat satellites, and also a little bit of DevOps.
Well, that leads perfectly into my next question. It's about DevOps. Is there a section of DevOps that maybe you haven't touched a lot yet, but you're like super excited to get involved with?
Oh, yes, there is AWS, that is Amazon Web Service, which we are currently using it now. So I'm currently looking forward to building myself in that because, in AWS and as a DevOps practice, you can use it for provisioning, managing infrastructure and deployment. So I think that is the thing that I'm looking forward to, AWS with DevOps.
Yeah, very cool. So I saw on your LinkedIn that you are certified in machine learning. How do you use machine learning in your work?
Okay, I think maybe I should tell you. You saw machine learning, but I can't really say I use it to work a lot, but I think in this coding aspect and trying to get data at times, I use machine learning.
Got it.
And with the machine learning you saw also on my profile, it was just a Udemy course that I did, and That was in 2019. So I used my personal Udemy account, to be precise. And I decided that let me try this machine learning thing on LinkedIn. And I passed. Surprisingly, the first time I failed. The second time I passed.
Nice. How do you like Udemy? Did you find good value in it?
I really do find good value in Udemy. For instance, in my company, we have Udemy for Business, and most of the programs that I want to do something on, if I want to write a certification or I need to finish a course, at times I use the Udemy. Though Udemy is very tedious, one course after the other. I just don't know, but I think it's a very good platform if you want to follow a program or a course outline stepwise.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, since we're on the note of education, what's your take on education in tech? Because you got a bachelor's. Was that the right way to go for you?
Okay, I think it was the right way, looking at where I come from, in the sense of I'm in Africa. Yes, and in Africa, it's a stepwise. I don't know if someone has written a certification and has just gotten a straight up job, which I know in the States, and I don't know if in Canada it works like that. But in Africa, at times, like I said, you need to go through stages.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it feels kind of unfair. It feels like we have a little cheat code here where you can just get certified or even just teach yourself and then you can get a job. So if you could, sorry?
But in Africa, at times it's not like that.
Yeah.
You have to go the hard way.
Yup.
Yes.
So if you could go back and do it all over again, what would you change, if anything? What advice would you give your younger self in regards to your career?
Okay, I think some of the things that I would like to change is how I perceive things at times. At times, the things you feel they seem like it, but they are not. Like I told you, the reason why I think I couldn't see the OS the way I was seeing it was because it seemed like it, but it wasn't it. At times, you need to go deeper, do a lot of research, and sit down and come back and better yourself. And I think the things that I would have loved to have tried was when I was in school, I was very friendly, but not to a very, very extent. I wouldn't say I was an extrovert or an introvert. I don't even know which one to say. I couldn't make that kind of friendship with people. You know, you meet people, you build that kind of friendship and all of those things. Yes, I knew people knew me. We were, you know, hello, hi, and everything. I think those were the things I would have changed. But even in the small circle that I had, I can tell you that the things that I have achieved, it's been through people's help. People who have remembered me in their good times because I remember them in their worst moments.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah. I get that a lot, just how important networking and building those deep connections is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm now looking forward to networking with people, which I think maybe it was at my stage in life. But now that I'm currently in a role, and you know, today with the introduction of these platforms and all of these things, you get to meet a lot of people, a whole lot of people. And those kind of networks you are building them on top of good foundations, reasonable things, and not just any friendship or just anything for anything's sake.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a hard question coming for you, but what has your experience been like as a woman in tech?
Okay, my experience in being a woman as a tech, I think it's been a little bit difficult because at times there is that feeling that women are fragile and women shouldn't be doing a lot. So at times, even if there is something you feel deep within you, you can execute this task. They will give it to the man because they feel the man can stay up for 8 hours, and as a woman, you cannot. She needs to go to bed, but you need to build yourself. Personally, you are talking to yourself whilst the tax is being given to the man. You tell yourself, you would really want to take this tax upon yourself, even though you feel it's tedious, but they are trying to take this tax away from you because they feel they are thinking about you. They are helping you to release your burden. But time and tide waits for no man. You also want to build yourself because you might be here one day. You can wake up and a new opening will be anywhere. It can be within your company. It can be outside your company. But if you do not have that ground you have broken, if you don't have that skills, it's called a skill set. You can work in Amazon. You can work in a lot of big places. Yes, I think that has been the most thing that I'm actually facing. The fact that they want to give women that liberty. Yes, feeling they are fragile. But as for me, I want them to feel fine, I am a woman, but I can equally do as other men or other people are performing.
Amen. So kind of similar vein for this question, but do you have any advice for other women looking to start a career in tech?
Tech, I think a lot of people, when you talk about tech, they might think tech is all about sitting behind your computer and being a software engineer, a front-end developer, a back-end developer. It's not all about that. There are people in tech roles who don't even know how to code. Rox, you're very much aware. Azure, people having roles in Azure, they don't even know how to code. You can be in tech and you wouldn't code, but you have to know how to maneuver to get into those roles. So I think it is about knowing what you want, working upon it, and going for it. The tech is just a name, it's technology. It is not going to break you apart, but you just have to find your stronghold. You have to find, this is what I really want to go out for. And so I feel I can't do coding. I can't program. I can't be an operating system. So I can't be in something else, DevOps. Maybe I feel being in a managerial skills in tech is what's going to help me. So you go in for it. But brace yourself. That is all that I can tell you, because you can be in a position of not being in programming today. You can wake up and you have been taken from where you were to a different place. But one thing you must understand is that things are changing. The world is moving forward. You should move out of your comfort zone. And you should brace yourself for anything that will be coming across you, just like turbulence hitting an airplane. There is nothing you can do about it.
It's actually, that's really good advice. Getting out of your comfort zone. It sucks, but that's where you have the most growth and the most change like that is when there is a lot of change, is when you grow the most, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Final question for you. Is there anything exciting coming down the pipeline for you? Any certification or anything like that that you're looking forward to?
I'm currently trying to get my hands on AWS certification, and it has taken a toll on my emotions. But the only thing that pushes me to get it is called deadline. So that is, I have a deadline to get that certification. At times, deadline is the only thing that can push you to do so many things in life. So that is what I'm looking forward to, and also trying to build myself in the tech role, in the sense of programming and trying other things, because at times or along the way in life, you realize you have a lot in you than you thought. All of those things you felt you couldn't do, now it's much more of like a balloon filled with water, which has burst. Now you feel you can do the things you couldn't do. So that is what I'm looking out for, certifications, and also trying to, move forward in terms of education. Other great things ahead.
Awesome. Abigail, thank you so much for your time today. This is a great conversation.
You're welcome, Rox.